Hey guys, I'm live. Pop up video, talking to myself, having a good time. That's what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to be talking about rentals today, and we're going to be talking about the differences in rentals and where you want to live and how you want to live and what you want to do. So that's what we're actually talking about. So I will say blah, 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 blah. Okay, hey, welcome to the live stream. This is a pop up live stream for Asia Info Channel. And today we're going to be talking about rentals and the big difference in prices here in Hua Hin, in Bangkok, in Manila, in Cavite, all the different rentals that you have available. And right now, it's high season here in Thailand, which is good news and bad news. The good news is that there's a lot going on in Thailand during high season. The bad news is that everything seems to be a little more crowded. Everything seems to be a little more expensive. Everything seems to be a little louder. And you know how I feel about that. So we're talking rentals. I just looked at rentals before I came on here, and I saw rentals ranging from 9,000 baht to about 40,000 baht per month, which I think is crazy. However, it's your dough, it's your money. If you want to do it, that's fine. Let's do it. So let's talk rentals. Let's talk. And actually, we just did something on rentals in the Philippines because yet one more person that we know is leaving the neighborhood. And so he's actually going back to condo living or going to condo living. And a lot of people are going to condo living because they've just kind of had enough. Again, I'm always interested in your feedback, your thoughts on where you're renting. Are you here already? Where are you in the Philippines? So that's my question to you. Where are you in the Philippines? Where are you happy in the Philippines? I had people give me a lot of grief, not a lot of people, but that I just didn't look around enough in the Philippines. And I admit and agree to that I just didn't look around enough. I have been to Cebu. I have been to Iloilo. I spent a lot of time in the Manila area, but I really haven't gone anywhere else. And so, again, as I stated before, that's shame on me because there's a lot to see in the Philippines. And I keep telling people that I love the Philippines. I was there for 2 years and I had a great time. I met some great people. So, with that being said, I went to Thailand and somebody said that it was a preference thing. And you're absolutely right. It took one trip to Thailand for me to realize that I really liked Thailand a lot. Actually, I loved Thailand on the first visit. I think it's way different than the Philippines, but yet it's similar than the Philippines, I believe. Again, I'd like to know your thoughts. If you already are in the Philippines, where are you, and are you having a good time with it? I lived in Cavite. I lived in Trece Martinez. It's right next to Indang, and down the road from Indang is of course Tagaytay. I was in Tagaytay for over a month, and I love the weather in Tagaytay. It's just that, yeah, I didn't like the crowds in Tagaytay, so I left Tagaytay for Trece Martinez, and I liked it at first, and I still like it, and I still hope for the best for it, and I still have lots of friends there. But my friends seem to be moving away from the Philippines. Hey, hey, Dash, what's going on? So I have a lot of friends, and they seem to be moving away from Cavite. They seem to be moving to other areas of, I think Dumaguete is where one of my friends just moved to. And another friend I have, he's moving out of the neighborhood, but staying in Cavite. He's going to, I think it's called, is it Hope? Is Hope the name of that condo in Cavite? I think so. He's going there. And, I can't blame him. I can't fault him. He is the gentleman who said that the power grid, which I thought was really interesting. You think Philippines is getting too expensive, Dash? Um, yeah, I don't know. You really think that? I mean, I know that the rent on the apartment complex that I was at has gone up like maybe 1,000 pesos, but with the dollar being strong, that's less than $20. So, I mean, I think I did the math the other day. And so the rent went from 4,000 pesos to 5,000 pesos. And I think that, what is that? $87, something like that. So I think that the food dash is really, I think that the food in the Philippines is getting more expensive. I had the hardest time, I think I've said this, getting lettuce, or as we called it, litos, which is a joke. But I think that the food is getting more expensive. Now, with that being said, I still think that it's a great value, the Philippines. And when it comes to Airbnb, man, I Airbnb traveling in the Philippines for me was great. So what are you finding expensive, Dash? I mean, is it food? Is it the rent? I mean, how far have you looked out to other places in the Philippines? I still get a lot of grief for not traveling, rightfully so, for not traveling enough in the Philippines. But like I stated in my last in my last video, I still love the Philippines. I'm still keeping my connections to the Philippines. Yes, getting too expensive. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Your assessment of the $1,500. Um, yes, yes, I agree with you that $1,500 is cutting it thin. No matter where, if that's in the Philippines or in Thailand, I still think that the food is cheaper in Thailand. I believe that. I believe the food is cheaper, and for me, it's just a better fit with fresher food in Thailand. I really had a hard time connecting with adobo and pancit and Jollibee chicken, chicken joy. A lot of people like it. I wasn't a huge fan. I ate a lot of it, and what's the other fast food that was right next to Jollibee? Uh, King Choi, or I mean, it's always seemed to be right next to Jollibee, and I ate there a lot. Of course, I can't remember the name, but I like the food better than Jollibee. That's just me. If when I lived in Tagaytay, I went to McDonald's all the time because it was right next to the condo where I stayed in Tagaytay. I have not. I think I've been to McDonald's, you guys, one time in 7 months since I've been here, and that's actually I had Grab deliver, and it was such a disappointment that it reminded me why I never. It reminded me why I don't do McDonald's. Uh, if you can't eat local foods, you spend lots. Yes, I totally agree. Local foods here are not like local foods as I remember in the Philippines. Local foods here is I have a place called Roses that I go to, and she has a clean, like she calls it a clean chicken, and you get a nice chicken steak, and you get a small order of fries, and you get a small salad for $1.60, and you throw in a water, and you have a meal at maybe close to $1.90. So you get a filling, clean, safe meal for $1.90, right around the corner from where I'm at. And if you want to, let's say, go with patai, a shrimp patai, fresh shrimp, it's great. You're at about $1.20, and you add water, you're at about, again, you're at $1.50, $1.60. So I believe that the food in Thailand, for me, Chow King, yes, thank you, Dash. That's the restaurant that I would eat at, Chow King, and only because I didn't want to give the Jollibee Bumblebee my bucks. No, sorry, Paul. I didn't want to do it. So Chow King was the place that and I got a lot of pushback on that too. A lot of expats and a lot of people are like, oh, Chow King is horrible. And I'm like, well, Chowking, Jollibee chicken, horrible is such a big word. So I just ate at Chowking a lot. I like their sea their fish actually. So yeah, it was Chowking, and also I think that the freshness, you know, and I don't know if this is true or not. It seemed to me that like when you buy Oreos, and this is probably not true. It's my take. when you buy Oreos in the Philippines, I don't know if it's their old Oreos they just packaged and said, okay, let's give it to the Philippines. I don't know if that's just BS. Just sometimes I felt that the food was stale. And maybe that's just because where I went, or maybe that's just my take. I did a lot of my shopping at Walter Mart. And overall, I liked Walter Mart. Um Sending money to the Philippines has made the Philippines sending money to the Philippines has made the Philippines experience what? I need to get the rest of that. I need closure on that comment. Yeah, I seem to have met a lot of Filipinos that were getting money from offshore workers. Uh, I said, okay, gotcha. Um, I've met a lot of Filipinos who have been getting money from other countries, whether it's Dubai or America, that they were working. Because the number one export of the Philippines is nursing. Joke long, joke long. I'm just kidding. It just seems that way to my friends in America. So, hey, Captain America, how are you? Hope you are doing well tonight. It is a Sunday night here in Hua Hin. Uh, sending money makes it more expensive for the Filipinos are doing more buying. Yeah, and I actually like the dried fish too. I don't know about the sending money and the making things more expensive. It certainly gives them a little more freedom and a little more purchasing power. And I what can be bad about that? Now here in Thailand, it's a whole different vibe on that. I mean, you don't get that. You don't get the same vibe. $13 billion sent to the Philippines. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that one bit. I don't doubt that one bit. I wonder if that's sending money to the expats or my son is married to a Filipino nurse in New York. Yes, there's a lot of people married to Filipino nurses in America, and God bless them because they really helped out on its nurses crisis recently. Uh, yeah, locals can't save money, just spend. I don't know. I have that same issue just because there's so much to do and there's so much to see and so much to experience, whether it's in the Philippines or Thailand. I said this in another video, you guys, and I'm open to your discussion. I'm never bored. I always have something to do, even when I was unhappy in my bunker, as I so to speak, because it was so loud or whatever. Um, wow, my Filipino wife's been in the U.S. for 10 years. How's that worked out for you, Captain America? I mean, you hear these stories about Filipinos going to America, never returning, or they go to America and change forever. Uh, so looking at so somebody asked me if there's pet-friendly hotels or motels here in Hua Hin. Yes, there are. There is a huge pet family, but they all seem to be smaller dogs, and they put in and Tony. They put him into carts or uh, baby carriages, and they push them around. Tony, is your dog by any chance a doxy? My God. Um, I would be interested to hear on that. There's a lot of pet friendly areas here in Hua Hin in Thailand, and there's a lot of locals that love their dogs. Get a different rap here. They get a different vibe here in Thailand than let's say in the Philippines. I oftentimes had a struggle with the animals and the way that they were treated in the Philippines. I don't look at them as doorbells, and I think a lot of people do, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. That Chihuahua, my God. The only dog that I know that got kicked out of training class when I had my pit bull was a Doxy and a Chihuahua, and it's really funny because they didn't really know their own size, and so they would just go up and talk crap, talk bow wow. So yes, there are places for animals, especially that size. I don't think you'll have a problem. I just looked at rentals before I came here. Uh, the very small town I'm from has 33 OFWs, Filipino school teachers there, husband. Yes, it's really interesting, the OFW situation. And I've met other Filipinos that have had issues getting their girlfriends or wives out of the country who didn't have OFW experience. So I know people that have come here have OFW experience, and they didn't seem to get a lot of grief from the government. And I know other people that were off-boarded, which I found just mind-blowing, because that's horrible to be waiting in line, and have somebody offloaded. You look like MythBusters. Really? Gokungka. Thank you. I actually went to college. I went to my master's program right down the street from where they shot that. They shot that originally at a place called Dog Patch in San Francisco, right down the road from the Giants' new stadium. So I'll take that as a compliment. And MythBusters is a pretty cool show. And like I said, they're literally right down. They were shooting right down the street when I was going to college. So good for them. Thank you. So yeah. There's places for your dogs here, and it's one of the reasons why I look at moving out of my condo. And actually, I have another friend here. He's the vampire, and he actually is looking at moving for the same reason that I would ever think of moving, and that's to get pets. To get animals, to get dogs. We take care of so many strays here, and like one Thai woman told me, take him home. And I would love to take home, Frankie or Gray or any of the other dogs that I feed. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people feed the dogs here. A culture thing, no matter how much money is spent for PH, local will spend it less. Bakersfield. Yeah. I love that song, by the way, by Yoakum. And I've passed Bakersfield, and I guess it's up and coming. Bakersfield is now. I came here to Philippines from Rockland, from Sacramento. That's where my brother lives, and so yeah, it's an interesting area of California, Bakersfield, all of California, at least in my thinking. I grew up in Silicon Valley, and none of it's even recognizable. And even if it is, I couldn't afford it there. So, um, yeah, you know what? And I Filipinos are expecting more now with finances, and I couldn't agree more. I believe the Philippines in general, is a country on the grow. It's literally having growing pains, at least in my opinion. You know, the city that we lived in was constantly, oh my God, constant road work, and they're trying to improve. People are constantly working on their apartments. People are constantly there's growth everywhere in the Philippines. I think so, and here too in Thailand. In Thailand, it might even be more crazy because they're doing growth on a huge scale. I mean, literally, there's a 47 floor condo planned right next to here. Uh, your wife has a house here in the Philippines. Good for you. I have met many a expat whose spouse, whose partner has a home, and so they're not paying rent. And I did a video, my budget video, and I said that I approached that many budget videos are done with people owning the house, so they don't include rent, which is the number one thing I think here in Asia. Your number one expense, your most important expense is going to be your apartment, your house, or wherever, your domicile, where you live. And so that's why my last video is on the 80 to $100 apartment. And again, you guys, I stand by it. If you can find a good one, and Steve actually has a really good lower apartment. It's perfect for him. It's down, is no noise. Uh, because the money being sent, I'm looking for. Yes, I agree. Um, Nothing wrong with the country for the rich. Real Filipinos been left behind. Um, yeah, I think that. You know what? I think that's true. It seems like everywhere. It seems like that. the people that are doing well keep doing well, and people that aren't keep doing not well. So, that's an issue everywhere. I don't see it so much here in the Philippines, or excuse me, in Thailand. The Thais around here, there's a lot of there's a low rate of unemployment here, and the jobs here pay, okay. I think they pay better than the Philippines. That's just my opinion. From what I've seen, in the Philippines, you can work all day and make $5, and here it seems to be $20. I don't know. I've talked to several people that work here and that have jobs in all different kind of fields, but we're in a service industry here. There's a ton of people that are working with Verlangs or foreigners, and so it's customer service. My friends, they own businesses. I like business owners and restaurant owners because I don't know. I just all my life I've worked with them, whether it's marketing or radio or TV, whatever, production. So the businesses right now are booming here. My opinion, what I've seen, because it's so busy. It's so much busier now than it was in my last. So I was here in February, which is the wind down of the high season, and I don't remember. I mean, I was here for the whole month of February this year, and it's the last month of the high season. I don't remember. It's. I mean, if I could curse, I would. It's crowded for me, and it went from zero. It seemed like it went from 0 to 60 like that, with the crowds of people. And of course, they're all foreigners. However, like I've stated before, us Americans are I believe, the minority here. I believe that there is such a divergence of people. I think I said this before. It's like the UN, especially in my Muay Thai class. You have people that are Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Spain, Germany. I have a lot of German friends here. Russia, Canada. I mean, what's the one thing I left out of there? Yeah, Americans. I'm definitely in the minority when I get around people here, and I'm okay with that. In Cavite, in the Philippines, it basically was us guys. It was us expats. I don't want to say we ruled the roost, but we were in the majority, and it's not that way here. And I'm not counting Michael, and there was an occasional Dane or Finland, or actually we even had somebody in our neighborhood from Africa, but they were from Africa by way of America. And like my friend here, the vampire, I think he's Greek by way of Chicago. I don't know. So Americans, yeah, it's not all about the expat here, and that's what's really interesting to get used to. And I'm okay with it. I don't know how you guys are with it. So, was it Captain America who's from Bakersfield? When are you coming here, Captain America? When are you coming to the Philippines? So that's kind of yes, 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 yes. I will agree with you 110% on that posting. I have met more Russians in my life here than I did when I lived in Europe. I lived in Europe on a hilltop facing Russia. Yeah, figure that one out. And I've met more Russians in Thailand than I've ever met anywhere. And yesterday, it's funny, I was just telling somebody this story. I was in Muay Thai and I met this Russian who's his daughter is actually, she fights in Russia, and she was a little firecracker, like 15 years old, and man, she had some great technique. And so I made an attempt to talk to him, because I make an attempt to talk to everybody, as those who know me know. And he played the, "Oh, I don't speak English," which I could literally give two S's about. You don't want to talk, you want to talk. I don't care. Move on. And so it was really funny. It was really funny because then he started talking to my instructor, who's the lead instructor, and it's amazing how he found English. And I just looked the other way. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. But in Phuket, which I'm not going to tell you how I normally pronounce Phuket, my God, that's all I met was Russians with a handful of Germans. And they were okay. I mean, I didn't have any beef with them. I didn't have any beef with anybody, really, yet. Joke long. But everywhere you turned in Phuket, there was literally a Russian. So, you bet, Joshua James. Uh, I live in Bacol, and I may see one or two more expats. Everyone now there, which is why I like. Oh, dude, Joko, Kokun Cup, which means thank you. Yes, I'm looking at other areas. I'm looking at other areas here in Thailand, just for that point and that purpose. I was in Phuket early 23. They were slowly coming in, and now it's full. Oh my gosh! But you got to admit, Phuket, the beaches in Phuket are mind-blowingly beautiful. I went to the beach and swam every day in the crystal clear water of Phuket. But you're right. I mean, it was crazy crowded with Russians, and they kind of reminded me. There's that old term about ugly Americans. And I think that all generalizations are kind of BS. However, sometimes you can hear people talking and you're like, yeah, I know where they're from. And when I was in Phuket on the beach there, and it was beautiful, I heard people talking loud and talking rude. Yeah, there was no question where they came from. Um, yes, I agree with that. The last post. Yeah, yeah. I really don't know how to say your name, so that's why. Oman. Yes, I know that beach, and I like that beach also. So Phuket, the Phuket beaches were incredible. Phuket was super expensive, I thought. I just got back from Pattaya recently, and so did my buddy, the vampire, and him and I both agree on Pattaya. It's not for us. It's like a huge massage parlor. So you got a massage parlor here, is Pattaya, and this is the town proper. Massage parlor here, American Burger King here, weed shop here, bar here, and hey, look, you know, it's a party town. I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to complain about it. It's what you like to do. If that's what you like to do, I didn't like it. I found it noisy. I found it dirty. And talk about different kinds of foreigners. Yeah, they were there for a lot of them were there for one reason and one reason alone. And if that's what you're into, more power to you. It's not. I mean, I didn't like it. I haven't been back, and I probably won't. And my buddy, the vampire, who just went, yeah, he said the same thing. He was there 3 or 4 days, and he's not going to go back to the town proper. Now, I'm told that surrounding areas of Pattaya are very nice. That's what I'm told. I can't confirm or deny that. Even though I feel I've traveled a lot here in Thailand in a short period of time, and I said it before, I'll say it again. I didn't travel nearly enough in the Philippines, so I need to do that. I didn't get to Bohol. I didn't get to. I really wanted to go to Davao. So if anybody's out there, I mean, I actually had a trip planned for Davao, and something came up, and so it didn't happen. So I really, like I said, I haven't seen enough of the Philippines, but I want to, and I know that you guys, a lot of you people, and Steve talks about it too. That there's a lot of people that, yeah, I heard that Bohol is really nice too, and I think that one of my buddies, I think it's New Steve. I think that he's in Dumaguete, but I think he's been to Bohol, and I haven't been to Dumaguete. I've been to Cebu, and I like Cebu. I did the Cebu adventure, Cebu Canyon adventure, canyoneering. Or I mean, it was really an adventure. We're talking zip lining across vast tracts of land, going very fast. We're talking. I think that it was like 6 kilometers, and it had some small cliff diving. My wife only needs to see 11 states to see all U.S. states. Oh wow! Nice job, Captain America. Nice job. I mean, I don't think I've seen that many states. I've seen a ton of the Midwest. I've seen West Coast, East Coast, spent some time on some other coasts there, but I haven't seen nearly enough of America. And I know it. However, I also know too that I was centered in the Midwest, the heart of the Midwest. And prices were crazy. I've said this in my budget video. Prices are crazy in America and have been for a long time. And I really don't blame any one person for it. You know, it is what it is. It's just that when you get to a certain point in your life and your mortgage is ridiculously stupid high, still, you know, and it's not just mortgage, it's, you know, insurances, it's food. I don't think that you can get a lunch in anywhere in the Midwest, even fast, especially fast food. What, for 10, 20 bucks? You know, it's crazy. And that's why I was so enamored with, so in love with Thai food, especially in the town I'm living in. Like I told you, I go to the mall and they have like this food market underneath the mall, and I love it. It's at I think it's Market Village or Village Market, and you can literally. So I get I get two fruit drinks with pure fruit, and that's about $2, $2.10. And then I get a salad, a really nice big salad for $1.10. And then I get some protein, which is usually some chicken parts for a dollar or two. So I'm eating a great meal. Yeah, I'm eating a great meal for I don't know, $4 or $5. $4 for a large. Yes, I know, right, Joshua? That's crazy. And actually, that's the only. So that's what I got from Grab was actually fries and their chicken substance. Um, and the fries, I still think the McDonald's fries when they're fresh are the best. But yeah, $4 or $5 when my entire meal here is $4 or $5, and it's healthy and it's fresh. So yeah, that's the challenge I had. I was paying $650 for a two-bedroom apartment that started out to be a good neighborhood. By the time I left, there was like I think I said there was a gun battle in the middle of the road, and it was crazy because I was on the second floor of my apartment, and it's only two floors, and so I saw the whole thing. And so instead of like I don't know hiding underneath my bed, I actually went out there, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I didn't have a weapon. I just knew that there was kids. There was two or three kids that played out and back there. And so that's what I was worried about. I was worried about ushering in the kids. And this guy seemed to be on a mission to shoot his gun gangster style going down the middle of the road. And so I was able to actually play a part in his arrest. So yay. And I did not get shot. So good for me. And it was the second or third shooting that I had either witnessed or I won't say been a part of. Calm down. That I had witnessed in middle America, in nice middle America. So, you know, it's not a matter of one party or another. It seems to be pretty much everywhere and everybody. So, um, yeah, hope things change in a month. I hope so too. Well, I'm thinking that for Christmas, that's what the deal is. The deal is that we're in high season. We are boom in high season, and we are right in the middle of Christmas. You know, and Christmas kind of snuck up on me this year, and I think that I'm only going to take care of. I'm only going to buy gifts for a couple of people. I'd like to buy something small for all the staff, and I might do that. I might buy food or something, because the staff here are really nice people. Yeah, I hope things change too. I'm told. I mean, last year by February, end of high season, it was, you know, there was literally nobody on the roads, and I was so thankful. The restaurants were empty. You know, so, you know they weren't happy, but you know maybe I was a little. So yeah, give or take. So yeah, I think that we're butting right up against big season, high season here. I just met some friends, and I worked out. She's a fighter. Her and her husband are both fighters, and Yeah, ordering food for the menu, Grab. Is ordering food off the menu with Grab? Yes. Grab. It's so funny you mentioned that because I was just looking at, do I grab before I come on here, and I actually did the math. So my Grab meal with a little bit of a tip would have been $6. I can't think of anything in America besides those $5 fries that are for $4 to $6. So, and that was actually a fairly decent little dinner pack combo. I'm seeing more ads for, yes, younger expats. Man, you are dead nuts right on that. One of my good friends here is, of course, he looks like he's about 30, but I think that he's probably in his late 30s. He was a lifer on the army, and he was in a combat unit, and he's in great shape, and he looks like he's like freaking 12. I'm only slightly joking because I'm 14, but I have seen more and more younger expats in Thailand. I didn't see them in the Philippines, but I haven't been in the Philippines for a couple of months, so you guys can tell me. Um, yes, but you are absolutely 100% correct. There are more younger expats, and the other thing too is in other countries they don't wait till they're dead to retire. I see and work out with some American expats that are in their 70s that they're still in okay shape. However, I see other countries, I see European countries taking their 3, 4, 5 week vacations. Good for them. It's smart. I'm a big believer. Travel, and do stuff while you still can. Um, I'm 61 and my wife 34. And you have a 9-year-old. Good for you. I mean, I have a good friend. I'm not going to mention his name, but we actually looked at his apartment, and dude, he's got like a 6-year old and a 9-year old, and he is older than us by maybe 6 or 7 years. So he's in his late 60s, and he's being a dad to young kids. Now he's having a great time. Yes, and travel, Captain America, travel is the best way to fight so many different issues that we have in America now because you meet other people. You meet other cultures. You see that the world, that people in the Philippines, good or bad, people love their country. People in Thailand, really, there's a lot of nationals here. They absolutely love their country, flags everywhere. Yes. Um, However, I started traveling when I was like 7 or 8, and I started seeing other countries when I was 19. So I started living in other countries when I was 19 on my own, and I didn't live. I think I lived on the base maybe twice in my military career, and it was like for that amount of time. Uh, yeah, Joshua, I will agree with that. That there is a culture. My one of my best friends, of 20 years, I had to talk him out of, I had to talk him into leaving the state. Super smart. He's a CPA. And I think that the only country he's been to, of course, is Mexico, which is better than nothing. However, though, he has this tiny worldview of what the world is supposed to be like. And I'm here to tell you that traveling really opens up your eyes. Hi there. I'm new to your channel. I lived in the Philippines for 2 years or longer, and right now I'm living in Thailand. So we still have Steve doing reporting on on the Philippines, and actually I'm still doing reporting on the Philippines because I'm still in touch with many things in the Philippines. The video that drops on Monday, um, Dave, is going to be on the Philippines. And I said this before. I love both countries. I love all countries. I mean, I love my country. I'm an American. I love where I grew up. I grew up in Silicon Valley. I love the fact that I spent the last 20 years in the Midwest because it's the heartland. Um, I actually lucked out, Joshua. I was part of that 2-year visa, So I'm on a 2-year SRRV visa, and because I was military, it's a great program, and I talk about that on Monday. I talk about the PRA, and I talk about my visa, um, and I talk about a lot of that. So and look, everybody. I really do think that there was a point about the people who don't travel. If you've never met somebody who's, I mean, I actually worked in Africa, and talk about eye opening. I had never been to a country like Africa until I worked there, and it was to say how lucky and how grateful I am to be born. Um, yeah, so we have things really really great in America, and I know it, and I appreciated it. Yeah, Steve told me about the Mark Thompson thing, and yeah, and actually, yeah, Steve's actually going to do some reporting on that. However, all that being said, whether it's Mark Thompson or whoever it is, or it's me, you really need to hook up with family and let them know what you want if something happens to you. And that's what I think that Steve's going to talk about on Steve's video drops on Wednesday. Mine drops on Monday. Steve did a live stream. That's another thing too. Is the Boston guy? Give a listen. I think he did live stream yesterday. I actually moved my live stream so that he could keep his live stream time. So and I'm okay with that. Actually, I didn't go to the Congo. I was in Accra. I was actually on the Gold Coast of Africa, and we opened up a hospital, and it was pretty incredible. Ghana was the country. Accra is the capital. Accra is where we flew into. The hospital is maybe about 3 miles as the crow flies or crawls into the back country of Africa, of Ghana. It was, you guys, it was eye opening. At the time I was dating a journalist, and I kept telling her, be thankful for what you have. And she got so sick of me saying that she told me, I'm sick of you saying that. I'm sick of you taking for granted the fact that we have grocery stores that back then were open 24 hours. We have, you walk into the food selection of anywhere in America. Hy-Vee used to be my place, number one in the Midwest, at least in my state. Hy-Vee, and you walk into Hy-Vee, and your choices are just, they're freaking mind blowing. And you walk into the store here. Lotus is where I shop, and there is a decent supply here in Lotus. Uh, it's still not like America. And not only that, you guys, you walk into the store, you buy something here, and if you really like it, you should buy more than one, because there's other foreigners. I don't even use the word expat here because we're just so in the minority. There's foreigners here that will buy 3, 4, 5, 6 of whatever there's there, because they know that they'll come back in 3 days and it'll be gone. I have a protein drink that chocolate with whey. It's made. It's Dutch, and I'll be damned, man. I mean, whenever I see it, I buy it, and if there's more than one or two, I try not to buy everything because I think that's a cheap ass move. So I try to leave something for the next guy. However, you know, like pizza, like there's a cheese pizza brand here that's Lotus. I haven't seen it in 2 or 3 months. They're just sold out. They had Lotus had a beef lasagna, which was really good and a good size too, and a fair price. Haven't seen that forever. They just sell out of all that kind of stuff. So getting back to what I was saying is that, yeah, you got to travel. And here I am. I didn't travel enough in the Philippines. However, getting to the Philippines is, as you guys know that have been here. As you guys, how much is the price for what? I'm Josh. As you guys know, getting to the Philippines or getting to Thailand is not an easy task from America. And if you're coming from the Midwest, you're even more, because you have to fly into a coast or maybe do Chicago and still have to do a stop. Because when I did the Illinois trip from the Philippines, which was fairly straightforward, you guys, it was 34, 36 hours door to door. Oh, the lasagna. Lasagna was, let's see, 3, 6. Lasagna was like $4, but you literally could have 2 meals out of it. And that's how I look at a lot of the foods here, because when they do American servings or foreigner servings, it's usually a ton of food. So yeah. Uh, ah, Dickie, it's so funny you mentioned that because I asked my buddy. I asked him. Uh, I asked him, what were you thinking? And so he's got 2 kids, and one of them was I don't want to use the word one off, but he met with the girl one time and got her pregnant, and I didn't care. I still stood by my question. What were you thinking? Um, and so it's really a catch-22 for him. I could tell how much he loves his kids, but again, at 67, and his health, and he has some habits. Not judging. I'm just saying, the dude, you got a 9-year-old daughter and I think a 6-year-old daughter. So yeah, I think that's Dickie. You have a point. My visa here went up to 100 pesos for a visa sticker. Yeah, I have noticed the little things that they're up in the price. 50 pesos here, 50 baht here. They're nickel and diming it, is what I think. So, and as far as Joshua, the food that I'm talking about, yeah, whether it's lasagna or whether it's the pizza, and also whether it's the potatoes, they're definitely more expensive. That being said, they're decent food. Um, yeah, Dave. So what's the point of that? Oh no, I had bad health. I misread that. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Um, there's a lot of people, Dave, that I'm surprised they come here with the health situation they do. Uh, I really am. I mean, however, I know somebody, and I'm thinking about doing a video on them, that they are what you would call a medical tourist. They came here looking for surgery, and something happened. And again, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to put the story out, but something happened where they had to go to a different country. So they literally had to go to a Middle East country to have their surgery done. And so far, it's turned out okay for them. However, I mean, my heart goes out to them because, sometimes these folks come here and they're alone with bad health, and Steve and I have talked about that. Uh, yes, yes, Craig. I am interested in going and visiting. I love the food up there. The last post he talked about cutting back on. So one of the posts said that this gentleman who was sick and who we believe passed away was cutting back on his medications. And you know what? I see that. I see that in America, and I see it here, and it's heartbreaking. The current healthcare situation worldwide. There's just one word for it, and it's the F word. And I don't know any other way to say that. Um, I know that recently I had two. I mean, getting healthcare here in Thailand has proved to be much more of a challenge than I thought it would be. Uh, yeah, no, 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 no. I get it. One of the posters talks about being close to a hospital. Where I'm at, you guys, there's 2 major hospitals, and where I'm at is literally 3 hours away from a host of international hospitals and an international airport, which is Bangkok. I did the same thing in Cavite. So, and what I mean by that is Cavite was what, 3 hours, 3.5 hours away from Manila, and there is really good healthcare in Manila. However, Steve and I, we ended up taking one of our buddies to a teaching hospital in Dasma, I think it was. And and you know what though, I'm not, I'm not at all sold that it was any different than my American hospital. I did a post about it. In the American hospital, there was people overflow, and this is a good hospital. There was people overflowing in the hallways. and there was hookers, there was people fighting, drug. In the Filipino one, there was a lot of kids, a lot of people in the hallways that were sick. So I saw the healthcare. Our friend, he got okay healthcare even though he had to pay. And here you have to have a runner, which I think is crazy ridiculous. Both in Thailand and in Philippines. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm going to wrap this up in like maybe 10 minutes. We'll go an hour, and I don't know if this is the normal time. I know that I appreciate every one of you that have come here and have liked, because I'm new to the live stream, and Steve talks about it, and you know we're in the transition phase with Asia Info Channel. Um, yeah, yeah, Joshua, the runners are BS. You have to have somebody, and I've seen it all over the Philippines. It's not just with expats. It's with, you have to have somebody go get your medication. You have to have somebody get you food. You have to pay, for a nice. It's just, to me, it's just crazy. We talk about our healthcare being crazy, which it is. You know, I have yet to, knock wood. I go to the clinic here. It's called Be Well. I'm going to do a video on it, and it's set up for foreigners. And I've had one of my friends complain about it and said, well, it's not set up for major health issues. Damn straight it's not. It's for coughs, colds, getting bit by spiders, rashes. It's for the minor things that we used to go to an emergency clinic for in America. And it's just like an emergency clinic in America. Be Well, it's called here in Thailand. And I love them. They take good care of me. I'm part of their group, and I don't, you guys, I don't fear going to see my doctor. Um, I don't fear that at all. In the Philippines, hmm, I went to the doctor one time in 2 years. I have been to my doctor here maybe 4 times, maybe 4 times since I've been here. And you know what? Uh, and you know what, you guys, I'm not embarrassed by it. They took great care of me, and several times it was for like respiratory because of the change of season here. Can you use the VA insurance in Thailand? I haven't found a VA hospital in Thailand, and even if I did, even though I did two branches, I never got anything that I could use at the VA. Now, other people in the Philippines, I can't tell you how many friends I have that are going to the VA in Manila, and that use it, that actually use the healthcare at the VA, and also prescriptions. Yeah, because you can get some prescriptions sometimes at the VA that you can't. And that was the other issue that I had in the Philippines, was they just didn't have some medications. They just, you know, they don't think that they're, whether it's sleep, whether it's pain, again, you can get drunk, on any street corner, but you can't get drugs. So, and not only, yeah, and that's what's so different about Thailand. Thailand is a lot more lenient about that. I've been able to get drugs that I got in America here in Thailand, and I've made friends with my pharmacist, she's a great gal. I love her, and we actually are hooked up with Line. So if I have an issue, I send her a message, and she goes, "Oh, try this." And I go to her pharmacy. She has a waiting. So she actually set me up with some medication, some electrolytes, and some antibiotics. And you guys, it was 150 baht. Just so you know, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's roughly $4.80, roughly. So let's just make it an even five. So she didn't charge me a consolation fee, which I would have paid. But the antibiotics for 5 days and the electrolytes for a week were $5. No, that's not bad at all. And not only that, but I have access to her on my phone. I send her a note and say, "Hey, boss, here's my symptoms," and she goes, "Okay, well, try this." Yes, yes, uh, yes, yes, Bill William. I did hear Steve talked about the passing of Mark, and I don't really know what it is with trolls. I don't, maybe their mommy didn't love them. I don't know what their deal is. It's most normally people who would never say that kind of crap to you face to face that are like that are like trolls. And and I always believed, and still to this day, if I got something to say to you, I'll say it to your face. And usually it's pretty sarcastic and BS. But just take in mind that if we were at a bar, I would lean to you and say the same thing. And if you can't say the same thing, then there's an issue. So yes, I heard, and I actually liked his every. I thought his Every Man Had a Story was really a good a good concept, and I liked it. I watched some of it. And the other thing too, look, and I'm a bit different than other bloggers. I'm here to tell you that I really enjoyed Old Dog New Tricks. I've never met the cat. However, him and I have a lot in common. I like his forthrightfulness, and I like him. I mean, he seems to be a good guy, and I would like to meet Paul someday, and I maybe will. But I watched Paul. I watched Geo. I watched a couple of others um, before him. There was with the Reynolds family or some other family I watched too, and then I stumbled on Steve. Um, then I stumbled on Steve, and you know, um, the moment that I started watching Steve, I'm like, okay, this is for me. Steve and Steve is the thing I like. Steve is he's repetitious as hell, which is great, you guys. I'm telling you, his repetition is well founded. Healthcare, emergency fund, let people know about you. He talks about those things over and over and over, and the reason he talks about them over and over again so that you'll do it. And so I knew that, and I did all my stuff. You guys, I did all my stuff on my own. I did my research on my own before I even started following people, so that when I start following them, it's like, okay, I have a base of knowledge. My wife and I met him last year. Good guy. Our hearts and prayers go out to his family and his baby son. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that Steve's going to talk about that this week on this channel, and I think he is. I'm not sure, but I know that Steve was in contact with him, and I know that there's a lot of other bloggers that were too. And look again, whoever you connect with is who you need to be. I mean, Steve is a great guy for contact. I mean, I don't know any other bloggers that will give out their phone number and give out their email address, and that will literally pick you up at the airport. I mean, Steve, that's so kind of you. And I think a lot of people mistake that kindness for something else. I mean, he is a genuinely nice person, and that's why I'm here on this channel, and that's why. And look, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and so I stick up for my friends. Yeah. So and yet, and getting back to the troll thing, you know, and Steve and I have different opinions on that too. I just don't add fire. I don't feed them. You know, they don't know me. I don't know them. So whatever. So I wish them luck, and I hope that they find whatever lonesome hole they have in their heart. Yeah, yeah. I heard. I'm not even going to mention that MF's name because I just don't care. And again, he's one of those cats that if you met on a street, or if he would either sucker punch you or say something behind your back. And I truly believe, whether you do or not, I believe in karma. I believe that what comes around goes around, and everybody will, at the end, everybody will get what they're doing, what's coming to them. We're coming up on an hour. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, Yeah. Mister, I couldn't agree with. Well, something is off with trolls in general. They want to throw fire bombs and then they want to run away usually. And like I said, when I was in Silicon Valley, I got hired as a hiring training manager for I don't know whether we were 26 or 24 million high tech company, and we did not have you guys. We didn't have a manual. We didn't have an employee manual. There was nothing at the time. It was like the Wild West. People were making passes at fellow employees, doing drugs in their office. My God, now you do that stuff and it just doesn't fly. The point that I'm making is don't talk to people if you can't talk to me like you talk to your family or your grandmother. Don't do it. And that's what I taught in Silicon Valley. Talk to people like you talk to family, and you'll always be fine as long as you're not dysfunctional. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here. William, Captain America, all you guys. Dickie, I really appreciate you guys, and we'll do it again, and I'll announce it next time, and we'll have more people. But thank you so much for being a part of my second live stream and making it a success. Take care, Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you later.